nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. Gotta loosen up. Right. What, you don't like me? Fine, get in line. I'm a chiropractor gone rogue when I split your spine. I was a back surgeon. Coming back at this last virgin, trying to get that ass. And now I'm splurging. Oh, I'm not spending money. I'm not spending dough. I'm spending the kind of currency that you'll never know. Like this. All right, rolling out. Let's do this. Let's do this. So I have the challenge. It's like I haven't done this in a while. I haven't made one of these. I haven't really been working on the freestyle either. So what happens is you start to get like kind of rusty, a little bit. I was just knocking off some of the rust. So I think I got it back, but it's just taking the brain from this place of like logical thought to this place of creativity, which is kind of a different thing. So it's there, like it gets a little rusty, as I say, and then you just kind of knock it off and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Theoretically, it's something that should be practiced every day, like to keep it sharp, to keep it on point. But worst case scenario, like once in a while, keeping it going. I think ultimately, like if you're doing something to keep your mind sharp, then it's just a slight transition to go from a sharp mind, just thinking of things quickly, to transitioning to like rapping and making things rhyme and staying to a beat and all that. So, not too complicated. You think you understand half the problems I had? I've been dancing for dollar bills because I got problems with dad or mom. I don't know how it works. So, I'm trying to figure out where to go to film, because I want to break it up into like sections, and like thinking of somewhere that's a little more scenic than just a garage. And I think I want to go to the beach. It's a good spot, always a cool place to go. The challenge with the beach is that it's crowded, so logistically it's like filming anything takes a shit ton of time. So logistically, if I'm trying to like do something else with my day, then I need to be as efficient with my time as possible. So anyway, going down to the beach it's like a 20-minute drive, and then there's like the parking, and then there's going to find a location, and then the beach is usually pretty quiet, even though there's like usually a lot of people. It's usually a pretty quiet spot. The challenge that I'm faced with, which is something that I have to get over, is holding back, like reserving, because there's people around. So I find like when I'm on my own, I can there's a couple situations when I'm on my own, I can let loose and just flow and just spit. And if I'm like in a crowd, like if I was in like a circle, or if I was with my friends and I was like kind of spitting like in front of people, like that's the expectation, at least I have like supporters there, then my brain clicks into this mode of like, you have to prove yourself, and then that's when I get sharper. But what happens when I'm like just going out filming on my own, I'm just some guy like rapping into a camera, it's different. It's like my brain switches that off a little bit, so I'm not as on fire as I could be. I can still come up with some things and it's still pretty cool, but I'm not as on as I could be. Gotta keep it torn, try to sew it together. Tongue tied. Right. Try. Hold on. Gotta get it warm, gotta get it torn, gotta keep it torn apart. Ever since I was born. You're better than this, come on. Nobody cares, nobody gives a shit. So that's the challenge, but it's something that I have to get over, like just going out and, as the hat says, DGAF, don't give a fuck. Just kind of do what you gotta do. And the more you face it, those uncomfortable situations, the number you become to it. So it's conditioning. It's just getting it to a point, like, ultimately, like, people aren't really gonna care, because there's the chance that I'll say something, like, if I'm spitting in front of the camera and somebody walks by and they hear me, there's a chance that I'll say something pretty dope and they'll be like, wow, that's pretty cool. And there's a chance that I'll say something kind of eh, and they'll be like, whatever, and they go on about their day, because ultimately people really care more about themselves. So it's keeping that mentality in mind. That's what helps when you're doing things that make you uncomfortable, like what I'm about to do. But I really want to make this, so it's like a necessity. It just has to be done. Gotta keep it warm, gotta get it torn. You try to sew it together, but ever since I was born, I was ripping it and gripping it and straight from the hip. And I was tipping it, tripping it, and you were giving me lip. And so I pulled it off your face, that's why they call me a monkey. And now you're walking around looking kinda ugly and funky. You think you're spunky. You got a huge jolt of energy, a Red Bull, yeah. And you and me are enemies. We used to be friends, but see, you overstepped the line. The boundaries that we used to have, never mind. I find too, it's just part of the creative process. Like, if you're gonna sit down and say, I'm gonna be creative for the next 2 hours, you can probably come up with ideas. You could probably create something. Would it be your best? Maybe not. Would it be your fastest creation? Probably not. Would it have as much detail as it could? Probably not. But you could create something. And you know, you really can't force creativity, because sometimes you have to go through a lot of not so great just to get to something that's pretty good, and then even more not so great just to get something that's actually really good, and then finally really great. But so like what I'm doing right now is I'm going to a place, putting myself outside of my zone, go somewhere where there's people, and I'm gonna force myself to be creative. I spit it every time I hit it, can get it fitted, let you know I'm coming back, I'll pit it and I'm about to get rid of it. The X-Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger with some poison spray. See you later, hasta la vista, baby. Think that you can beat me, maybe you can try to come back. On the spot, which is, I don't know, it's like if you're in a deep sleep and then you suddenly, like somebody comes along and just pours a bucket of water on you, it's just shocking you awake. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Well, what I'm gonna be doing to my brain is just, it's been awake, and I just warmed it up, but it's just taking it to the next level. It's saying, okay, yeah, you're up, but are you really up? Like, can you sprint right now? So I've been up for a while. I even worked out too. So yeah, my brain's functioning. But again, it's a matter of conditioning. It's just getting yourself to that point where you do it enough that you're always, it's like you're always warm. It's like in the Avengers when they asked the Hulk, they asked Bruce Banner, like they tell him to get angry, and he's like, well, that's the secret, I'm always angry. So you gotta just always be, kind of have that, like at any given moment, if say you want to rap and then some studio exec or some like big time rapper comes up and is like, all right, hey, I heard you like to rap, spit something for me right now, it better be fire. If it is, I'll sign you. You know, like you gotta be ready as you can be for that moment. So the more you practice, the easier it becomes, and then it's like nothing. I got my eyes open looking at you, a skewed view of someone who I thought that I knew. I would do a little voodoo with a lock of your hair. I'm cutting it in half, yeah, I'm dropping it there. And then you fall into the fire in the furnace and you're burning and you think that you can turn it over, yeah, you think you burn it. One thing I like to do is if I'm going about my day and I want to get to that point of like honing my flow a little bit better, so what I'll do is I'll just kind of go about my day and I'll just take my time and I'll go long form rhyme. So again, what I define long form rhyme as is like really taking your time with it and drawing it out. There's no beat, it's purely a cappella, it's at your own pace. So it's basically like, you know, I'm driving on the freeway, I'm going past the speed limit, I'm on my way to a three-way with these 5 girls I met the other day. Did I mention my math isn't that great? But hey, I think I'm about to finally have a story to tell when I get to hell, because fuck it, that's where I'm heading. But I'm like, oh well. So something like that, I can just take my time with it and just roll. And doing that, you can draw it out. Like it might take 10, 15 seconds in between words, but what it's doing is it's creating this cue line of more words to come. So like if I'm about to start freestyling and I don't know what to say, like maybe a beat's going, like I'll take about 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds just to find one word to start and then a word to take it from right after, just so I can get the momentum. And then I create this brain momentum, so my brain goes, oh, okay, yeah, you're in freestyle mode. Yeah, you've had some pretty good flows before, so oh, you just started with some good momentum, so I'll just keep you going, and then it just rolls from there. You think you can settle the score? We can find out. Go ahead, put your best foot forward. You only got one of them, because you shot the other one off, because you can't handle a gun with them. You point it down at your toes and pop, 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 there it goes. This little piggy went squealing all the way to the chop shop, the chopping block, that you know I turn it into bacon. Yeah, I'm about to mop it up. I'll mop the floor with you. I'll make it bleed. You better take a knee and listen to what I'm about to say, yeah, faithfully. You think that you'll be chasing me. You can try, but I'll be light years ahead.